It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, beginning at verse 1, and it reads, The burden of Egypt. The burden goes into the prophecy. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. The cloud represents the chariot, and this is a future prophecy. Verse 19 and verse 2, or chapter 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. In the book of Mark, chapter 3, it talks about people being divided, or it said, kingdom that's divided cannot stand. You can go into Luke, chapter 12, and verse 51. It tells you that the Most High bringeth division, And Matthew, chapter 10, talks about the Lord bringing a sword, which causes division, And you got these Edomites pretty much at odds with one another. You got individuals that were for Donald Trump that are no longer for Donald Trump because they see that Donald Trump wasn't really for them, And that's who's going to really bring a lot of destruction to this place. You pretty much, you two-time losers, you Edomites. The working class Edomites that really thought that DJ Trump was going to make America great again, when actually you were just chatting something that had to do with witchcraft and sorcery. MAGA, dark MAGA, fucking Elon Musk throwing up Roman salutes and German salutes. These motherfuckers so racist, they pretty much, you had a guy resign and he brought him back after him literally going on a racist rant, yet and still it'll be an issue if we just say and bring out the truth that those are not the real Jews. You know what I mean? They're the Jew-ish, which we know the suffix of ish to be like. But they really ain't like. They really, they really demons and messengers of darkness. The fucking wicked. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. And you see in this place failing. This place is, scriptures talk about in the book of Isaiah chapter 24, the mirth being gone. There's no mirth in this place. I was listening to, I never really watched the Super Bowl. I mean, it's rare I do. If I'd have probably went out or been around Jake, maybe, and to be truthful, even when I was along with the camps, the only thing I really did was watch boxing with the brothers. I might watch a UFC fight, but for the most part, I never was, I wasn't into football when I was younger, but, a lot of that shit, it don't carry the same spirit. Basketball, none of it, I just went to get my hair cut, and the individual was telling me about how I've been following the Cavs, and I told him the same thing I'm saying now, and he was saying how the Cavs actually doing good, and I laughed because I'm thinking, well, if the Cavs doing good, that's another indicator that this bitch is over with, because the Cavs are garbage. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, because this place is based and founded on witchcraft and sorceries, I remember where I was homeless at, and I met my demon. My demon pretty much was a cleaner for a lady that pretty much had a tarot shop. And I'll never forget showing you how demonic the bitch was and how goofy my demon is. She pregnant trying to work for the lady, and the lady trying to get her to do all this kind of shit that she shouldn't be doing. And I'm like, bitch, so you get that she trying to get you to hurt yourself so you could maybe lose the baby or something? This lady was a demon. My demon thinking she getting over when actually this lady's a fucking demon. I forgot they wasn't American Edomites either. They was like gypsies. I think they was like gypsies. I can't think of the actual nationality. Verse 4, the point. Isaiah 19 and 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. Because the modern day Egyptian is you Babylonians, you so-called Americans. You Americanized Americans, you two-third niggas, spiggers, Tontos, all those are for Babylon the Great. When Babylon the Great ain't for you. Your Samuel L. Jacksons, And they're proud with it too. I mean, just imagine what these motherfuckers do to hold on to their power. They talking about how Samuel L. Jackson, which is a super coon. I was listening to elder do a video about the whole Super Bowl and whatnot. He was like pretty much Samuel L. Jackson. I forgot who told me. I think it was my nephew. You know, that nigga is a LBGTQ, which make a lot of sense. You know, just imagine the rituals they do on a Quentin Tarantino movie. Because if you ever pay attention to it, Quentin Tarantino movies usually keep the same casting. So you don't know what the fuck they doing. Probably some spear cooking, all kind of weird shit. They all probably have an orgy together or something. Because, you know, that's a big head ass. Salaki. I'm just going in a tangent and a rant. Verse 4 again, Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And we believe DJ Trump is that cruel Lord. This man cut the funding on everything. They said that they cut the Department of Education up to like $881 million. So everything's over with. It ain't even no point of sending your kid to school, because what the fuck? It's more so going to be just literal indoctrination now. Can you imagine, like, you got to understand the whole school system is all based on these funding. You cutting all that. So all these proud ass teachers, everybody, you know, the Lord about to turn the fuck up. I mean, like, literally, like, and you could feel and hear the excitement in certain brothers' voices in their spirit, you know. Call Loyam Layah Bashmial Shah. And the Egyptians will give Salaki, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the Lord of hosts. And we believe DJ Trump is that cruel king. So, you know, Israel, you know, those that are actually, you know, blessed with this glorious truth, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding, get your mind right. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam like Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Racha HaKodash. I'm going to say double honors to the elders and to the apostles that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's Brother Yawasop, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now, I've been seeing brothers go in about, you know, these cuts, you know, saying that they're eventually going to take place. But from what I understood, I think they was already going, and I was trying to find this article, and it's funny, I thought I saved it, but I didn't. But this is the spirit, because this particular individual, he speaks on it. Because I'm thinking like, well, they cutting, but they're supposed to have been frozen. But you got people making videos and people saying stuff, and then they're printing, you know, articles talking about this was cut. So in actuality, you know, it's going to be explained in the video. But these things are taking place. And like I was just listening to the beloved elder, he was saying this guy is a king, a lord. He's not a president anymore. You know what I mean? Like literally, and that's what I said. Like they obviously is not following, you know, I was listening to another elder. He was going into pretty much, when you look at the flag with the yellow fringes, pretty much, you know, they're not, you know, it's pretty much a dictatorship. Because whenever, you know, you got the judicial, you got the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches of government, and they all supposed to check one another. But this guy is pretty much, you know, creating new laws. You know, the legislation department, you know, Congress is the ones that create new laws. He's only supposed to be able to veto them and make sure they are enforced. That's, you know, his department. And pretty much he's creating these executive, you know, he doing shit that he ain't supposed to be able to do. So that lets you know they wiped their ass with that Constitution. This shit about to go down, you know, and you better get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, that's the beautiful thing about our power, because you can always repent. We all go off. You know, I've went off. Brothers went off. And like I say, at the end of the day, you know, that's a exoneration to a degree in itself, because, you know, you got to understand, you know, brothers go off because we in this weak ass body, in this flesh, so you can go off, but acknowledging that you went off and, you know, making amends to Yahweh, well, you know, you acknowledge that you went off is the first thing, and then making amends and doing the work. This is not a time to slow down. This is the time to run your fastest, because at any day, this shit can go down. And all, you know, I was watching the brother do the video, and if he's speaking on what I say, like that's how much the spirit moving. You know what I mean? I did a video, the brother speaking on videos I've been doing, and you know, this one is a rare creature that ain't been seen, that's literally at the bottom of the ocean, that's in a shallower part. Why do you think that is? The scriptures talk about the beasts basically remove. What's that in like Second Ezra chapter 5? Talk about the beasts changing their places. And that can apply to, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, the Lord going to use, you know, the teeth of wild beasts. And this thing got fucking teeth. Like, I was like, God damn. So just, man, the Lord going to use creation to fucking jack these fucking people up. And deservingly, I mean, you know, like, Lord willingly, like, Lord, like, yeah, kind. You know, Baba Kashad. You know, I just pray for the elect, you know. The hopeful elect will be doing what the elect's supposed to be doing, you know. Being diligent to make their call in an election sure. So when you go into that word cruel.
Strong's H 7186. Kasher.
It says hard, cruel, severe.
Kasha.
It says hard, cruel, severe, obstinate, hard, difficult, severe, fierce, intense, venomous, stubborn, stiff of neck, stiff neck. And all these things is attributes of a cruel Lord or austere man. And also it's going to be to his demise. Like the elders say, this dude ain't really thinking. He just, I'm DJ Trump. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I mean, that Bogart move with we just going to take Gaza. Man, this man renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. They did that. You know, I did a video on that shit. They say Google Maps, they just went ahead and just did it. So, of course, this man about to bring these other nations, the wrath of the other nations. Because if you come in with that mindset, and that's why I think they rededicated the whole eagle, because it was a declaration of war. They keep on talking about they're going to go to Mars and all this whole shit. Well, they can't go to Mars. So what are you really secretly saying? Mars was a god of war. So, you know, scriptures talk about the king of Babylon, and he doing shit that pretty much a king would do. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 14. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it says, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh shall have mercy, will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel. You know, although he forsook us for a moment, that's what the purpose of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our big brother, is. You know, he's the kinsman redeemer. He's the mediator, the go-between. Through Yahweh Shah and his sacrifice, we are basically allowed to commune now with Yahweh. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. We're going to get our own land back, and the strangers shall be joined with them. The strangers are, you know, the Gentiles or the Israelite foreigners shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. This is slavery. It says Israel shall possess the people. Let's reread it in a different one. In the NLT, the nations of the world will help the Lord's people to return, and those who come to live in their land will serve them. That's plain. Those who capture Israel will themselves be captured, and Israel will rule over its enemies. That's for that fucking demon vocab alone. Revelation 13, and what's that, 9? He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, for servants and handmaids. You know, because that demon always try to make it seem like we not breaking it down right, or we don't have the understanding of the scripture. Well, this is translated in the NLT. How more plainer can you get? For servants and handmaids. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Because right now we're in our hell, but when we're in a position of rulership, we'll be in our heaven. That's the kingdom of heaven, you know. The nation of Israel, the different tribes of Israel basically in rulership over the planet Earth, and all the nations are basically in subjection to us. First, starting with Yahushua Mashiach, then King David, and then the 144,000. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? Because at one point in time, this place was considered a golden city. Look at San Francisco. And it's so funny because I forgot what year it was. They was talking about how San Francisco pretty much, you had homeless people that was taking shit and pretty much smeared it, like they was just doing some weird shit, and it was spiritual because that's a sodomite city. The scriptures talk about the Lord will not be mocked. You sitting up here doing this wicked ass act of, that was a city that promoted homosexuality. I forgot what year it was, but literally, like, I did a video on it. Literally, you had individuals just was in the spirit of, they was taking human feces because there's a lot of homelessness out there, and the homeless was pretty much defecating everywhere, but they was smearing it like everywhere. And, you got the Golden State Bridge, and, San Francisco was considered, just this, because a lot of the wealthy was out there. California is nothing like it used to be. Listen to some of the brothers that live out that way. I remember when I went out there, and then the brother was speaking on how they don't even camp downtown anymore. And when I went, they camped downtown. And I'll never forget, they downtown smelled like shit. And that was spiritual in itself. I'm talking about, I done seen shit in my downtown, but I see the nigga smoking crack rock right there. I say, what the fuck? He freebasing right there. He ain't giving a fuck. This verse 5, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And the Lord is breaking it now. Now, don't get me wrong. This is the Lord's. Ultimately, the plan is the Lord's, not the elites. Is the Lord's going to have the elites fulfill it, but this is ultimately the will and the plan of the Lord. So, he's going to allow them to bring this to fruition to a degree, ultimately to seal their faith or their fate. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Because at the end of the day, when this devil is taken down, the world is going to rejoice. Look at right now, these persecuting the Israelites. You got the, Northern Kingdom tribes. I hear they chasing after the Haitians, Levi. Well, that's Southern Kingdom, but they chasing after, Issachar and, the Venezuelans and, the Haitians, all when this man got in the office. And again, I keep asking a simple question. How are you mad at them when your administration is the one that allowed them in here? That's how I show you how really the people are just under heavy enchantments. Them psyops and the mind games like got these people. So just imagine when they flip the script and try to persecute the men of the Lord, just simply bringing out the truth. And we welcome it because we want to know why. We know these things must come to pass, is when this devil tries to reach out and put his hand on, the apple of the Lord's eye, that's when the Lord is going to lift up that standard. These things must take place for us to be delivered. And that's what I constantly tell my sister. You got these people talking about they love the Lord so much, but don't want to, see the end of this wicked ass place known as Babylon the Great. I remember brother saying that. He said, you want to stop the wickedness, child sex trafficking and pedophilia and all these wicked ass things. This place got to be fucking destroyed. He was going into how America, and he was talking about Magic City. He was like, people from around the world with real wealth go to Magic City on Monday night exclusively. So just imagine what the whole doing, man. I mean, like I said, and man, listen. And he whole nasty too, because you think about it, like I watched this guy called Boss Mac. He funny as fuck. He be like, bless that bitch. He be, he ain't talking about pimping, he talking about macking. You know what I mean? He be like, don't trick on the hoe and all that shit. You know what I mean? He be saying certain little shit that, most brothers in the truth, because like you've been around Chicago brothers, they got a certain mindset, you got some Jakes from Cleveland that was into that whoremonger and shit. But at the same time, it's a certain mindset that is instilled in Jake. Like, to be honest, even when I was coming up, we looked at, that's why, certain brothers, it don't really devastate them or crush them when the Lord take away the woman. Because it's actually deep when you take time to think about it, because we're pretty much referred to as the Lord's woman. So the Lord take away your, you fell away from the Lord. Okay, so now I'm going to take her. And that shows you she wasn't really with you in the first place. Again, like I said, I've been through that a couple times. I watched a demon jump on. Well, that's neither here nor there. But, like at the end of the day, it's going to be a big change of it. Just like I said, again, we ain't really even been through nothing. You ain't, like, the jump shot wasn't really shit. I seen certain brothers was presented with certain situations. That was their lot. They had to be tested for whatever reason. Certain individuals, like, I didn't have to worry about no job shit. But the thing is, the bitch at the job secretly had everything. Well, if they was going to make you switch over to doing it a certain kind of way, you got to have that shit to keep the job. They was going to do that. So just imagine now. Verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And this pretty much going into how Esau, Edom is going to be brought down. I remember my demon used to bring up this scripture, because she would always go into pretty much a man. Weakening for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend above the heavens. I don't know where it's at. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, she would go into Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 16, and says,
connected. Bluetooth. Action.
It says, verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? And my demon used to try to question that scripture, but ultimately was showing you how pretty much, it's the devil ain't really, a demon with red, with horns and red skin and hoofs, but it was a man. And that's how the nation's going to look at this devil when he's brought low. You know what I mean? Right now, the Lord is with him to fulfill prophecy. So you can't do anything against it. And ultimately, again, I was listening to the brother, because at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to have some Jakes that's going to be able to get at Esau and whatnot. It's going to be judgment. It ain't just Jacob's trouble. It's going to be everybody's trouble. It's going to be Esau trouble, the heathen trouble, whoever going to be in the path of, again, it's going to be a chaotic time, but only the Lord can control chaos, and he's going to control it to enact his judgment. But, it's longer than what I expected, and the main point of the video is based on this. So I'm going to say fair use, because again, Trump doing what he wants because he's the king of Babylon. And it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Fair use. I'm not profiting off of this. I'm just lining up what he's saying with scriptures. Lord willingly, this is edifying.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief.
This is big breaking news. A federal judge is now threatening to arrest Trump officials and potentially even Trump himself this judge out of Rhode Island is saying and threatening. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is what's going on right now. We have a federal judge. His name is John McConnell, and he is out of Rhode Island, right? And he is overseeing this case of a lawsuit that was brought on by 22 different states and Washington, D.C. And he is ordering the Trump administration to end the pause on federal funding, right? If you remember last week, Trump signed an order pausing a lot of federal funding tied to different programs, right? Tied to certain programs that he does not agree with, right? Things like DEI, things like certain environmental policies, all these things, any type of grants or federal programs that are tied to these policies, they have been put on pause and under review until further notice, right? And this is something that actually happens a lot of the time. It's just Trump did it more broadly and more swiftly, right, than usual. So it kind of caused a shock for the other side, right? And it says here that the U.S. District Judge John J. McConnell Jr., who's overseen the lawsuit brought by 22 states and D.C., ordered the administration to immediately restore and resume funding. Well, that did not happen. The Trump administration has ignored this judge's order, and something, it's just kind of strange to how this...
And that's the thing. So, you know, I get social services. I've heard, you know, you got a few brothers do. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, fuck them social services. Like, let the chaos begin. At the end of the day, this shit got to be stopped anyway. You know, this is what's going to rouse Jacob. This is what's going to affect the minds of men. This is going to actually put that spirit on, you know, Esau and 2/3. That's why you got, man, this shit going to be crazy, but it's going to be beautiful at the same time. Because we about to see the Lord work. I was just listening to a brother say that. You know, scriptures talk about signs and wonders. Like the Lord love to show his power. You know, you got to take the time to think about it, because then that's when his name gets the recognition. You know. And you got to remember, this deliverance is going out far outweigh and outshine and surpass the deliverance of ancient Egypt, which is talked about still to this day. But the current one, the one that's approaching, that deliverance is going to outshine and outsurpass the one coming. Salakia. So I'm gonna play a little bit more.
Random judge out of Rhode Island can halt the president, okay? Because the Supreme Court is supposed to be the equivalent to the president, right? They're supposed to be the ones that can keep the president in check, and Congress by passing laws. It's not supposed to be some random judge in Rhode Island that can have this type of power. And you got to think about it. Shut down.
And you got to think about it. The Supreme Court didn't say anything. This is this random. So that might be smoke and mirrors. That might be theater. Who to say what? But I knew this. They said it was a pause up until like whatever, like the first Monday of February. I think that was like the 5th or something like that. So pretty much, like I said, again, I'm hearing too much stuff talk about funding cuts. Cuts was here, cuts was there. So that shit is in effect. So you don't even know, again, you know, they already attacked Snap to a degree. Like you can't, I guess, buy certain things on the Snap. You won't be able to buy, you know, certain products as far as like if they deem it unhealthy.
The president's orders, all right, at least not in my opinion. And this judge here, he is threatening to arrest multiple different Trump officials, okay? So
that's pretty much what I wanted, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. So, you know, scriptures talk about as the ruler of the city is, so is the people. So, you know, that's, I mean, you know, you got a cruel man in office, and that's why you're about to see a lot of cruel acts. The scriptures talk about the love of many waxing cold. The scriptures talk about in the last days, perilous times shall come. You know, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 10, starting at verse 1, and it reads, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. But this government is not. You know, we know the word government goes into mind control. You know, a well-ordered government would be founded and based and reliant and pretty much, you know, a wise government, you know, rulership will be conducted through the wisdom of the scriptures. This place is not founded on the scriptures. Although showing you how wicked this place is, they told you, they fed you some bullshit saying that this was founded on, you know, pretty much the pilgrims running from, you know, Great Britain and England because they couldn't worship in the way that they wanted to. So you supposed to had, you know, people that were Bible believers that supposed to founded America. Then come to find out, you had people that was criminals that was sent here. Yeah, fucking, you know, that's why this place is founded on Freemasonry. Verse 2, as the judge, then you see all the Freemasonry and the symbols and all, you know, all the theater and the movies and the Super Bowl halftime show. That's why I don't, and I understand why brothers watch it, because, you know, they get, I mean, because the elite talk through these things. And a lot of brothers kept on saying they see the whole thing has to do with Jake. Come on, like the Olympics had the whole French Revolution with beheadings and whatnot. You should have knew that was persecution coming. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. You got a whole bunch of demonic, wicked ass people that's pretty much in rulership of this place. You know, whole bunch of homosexuals and whatnot, and that's why that energy and that spirit is so prevalent in this place. Because look at the people that's ruling it. Bunch of fucking demons. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. You know, but it's no inhabiting in this place, and there's no rebuilding this place. This place has to be completely destroyed. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and upon Salaki. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And again, this place is utterly destroyed. You know, this place is low. That's what Isaiah 47, you know, morally, you know, financially. What do you think DJ Trump job is? He's a businessman. And then pretty much him and Musk, they're just going through where the money at, trying to cut everything. That's when you do, when you pretty much got a business going, pretty much a business going out of business. They try to liquidate everything. They try to maximize and get as much money out of it as possible. And that's what they doing. This bitch is over with. You know, then he about to make a final money grab, because, you know, I mean, he just did that meme coin. They say he made $500 billion off that shit. And I can believe it. Just imagine how much money he made off the Bible. This man was selling the Bible, but then didn't touch the Bible. This man's a fucking demon. So I'm going to end this with this scripture. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's about to get hard, but at the same time, that means you need to rely on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai even more so. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 1, and it reads, moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai came unto me, saying, also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, power unto the land of Israel. So this is to the nation of Israel. And the end is come upon the four corners of the land, and 2/3 of our people can't see the end. You got people still stuck on, you know, the Super Bowl and fucking Irv Gotti and, you know, Tupac. It's Tupac really still alive and just dumb shit. And you know, you got to get your mind out of worrying about these people. You know, like I know like again, we are a type of people that have big hearts. You know, I remember brother was just doing a video about that. You know, after everything Esau did to Jake, they gonna trust him by giving him their money. That was one of they stole so much fucking money then. Motherfuckers is just a bunch of demons and thieves and sneak. Like, these motherfuckers is the true criminals, but they label everybody else the criminal. Like, just bizarro fucking world. Verse 3, now is the end come upon thee. You can't see this the end. They just talking about Donald Trump. I did a video on it. He pretty much taking the penny out of circulation. So it's going to start with the penny, but then what else? Listen, pennies actually, physical money, like you need them. People, you got businesses that rely on shit. Just like businesses rely on you to go, like the corner stores. They relying on Jake to go in there and buy fucking candy out of them gas stations. You know, this is about to fuck up the economy while he making it seem like he's approving it. Yeah, and if you ain't, like the Lord ain't dealing with you, you ain't gonna see that. Call Loyam Layabah Shemiah Shot 144. Verse 3, now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. The Lord is going to reward you with the abominable shit you was doing. Verse 4, and my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. If you ain't exempt, if the Lord ain't got that dua on you, that's your, you know, the Lord got something for you. And it's probably not going to be pleasant. It's probably going to be very painful. Because the Lord, what he say in that movie, Training Day? I can get surgical with this bitch. The Lord can get, surgical with judgment. You know, when you take the time to think about certain judgments, I remember it was a judgment. The chick was pretty much had did something, and basically she had been without her license for like 6 years. She got her license back and pretty much got drunk and caused the accident. She killed like 7 people, including somebody in her car, I think her sister, and killed the whole family of like Jake. I think they was Northern Kingdom. It was pretty much, it resulted in, she killed like 7 people. So I knew completion. But she was basically handicapped for the rest of her life. So not only did she have to think about she killed her sister and his whole family, I'm talking about it was like 3 generations of people, from the grandmother, the father, to the children. And she was pretty much incapacitated where she couldn't walk anymore. She had to live with the fact she killed all them people and she killed her sister and she couldn't even walk. That's a precise strategic judgment. Like, I don't know what the fuck she did, but that's horrible. Like that, man, the fuck? And that's the power we dealing with. So you better fear the Lord. Verse 4 again, and my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Verse 5, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, an evil and only evil, behold, is come. Evil, bad times, which we already all in bad times. And, you got this inflation, you got all these things going on. It's hard to get a job or maintain a job, all this crazy shit going on. And then this man cutting social services. Like, they purposely steering you in a direction. You can't see that? Verse 6, the end is come, and watching for thee, behold, it is come. Skipping to verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. This ain't no times of peace. We about to go through, some hard times. And this is the time more so than ever to be fully committed and 10 toes down, standing fast to this truth. Because that hour of temptation is coming. If you can't see where all this is going, this is Operation Warp Speed 3.0. They talking about 5 years. I don't think we got 5 years. Like I said, they talking about having the smart city up in California by 2028. That ain't fucking 5 years. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Bracha HaKodesh, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth to you. Say shalom. Until next time, Lord willingly. Shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah, Mawat Lababah.